Hey guys, this is Trent. I am here to talk to you guys about a couple of things that have happened in the past couple days or so. A friend of mine ended up purchasing himself a Treo Pro, and he, of course, asked me if I wanted to take a look at it. The whole idea was that if I wanted to test it out for a couple days, we would, of course, exchange handsets. I would give him my old Treo 750, which is here, and I would swap with him so that I could use his Treo Pro. When I first opened up the box to the Treo Pro, I was really impressed with the way that it was built. To go from the previous chunky Treo models to the current Treo Pro model, which is, of course, glossy black and very sleek and very slim, it was a very good achievement for Palm, considering that they are currently going through a lot of trouble, in regards to the failed folio and then a certain operating system that's supposed to be updated that hasn't been updated yet. So from that respect, Palm did a very good job in updating the model design of the Treo. But there was one huge problem that turned me off from the Treo Pro. The QWERTY keypad was just way too small and too compact. Being that the keypad on the Treo Pro was so compact and so squished in one small area, it was very difficult for me to find a comfortable typing position when it came time to write emails and text messages. As a matter of fact, within the first 20 minutes or so of using the QWERTY keypad, I was immediately turned off. The QWERTY keypad, I have to say, is a huge experience in using any one of these kinds of smartphones. And if the QWERTY isn't that great, then you're basically wasting your time, in my opinion. So after only 2 hours of using the phone and testing it for call quality and whatnot, I drove it back to my friend's house and I got back my Treo 750. Now, my main reason for agreeing to try out the Treo Pro was to basically carry out auditions for a backup phone to my Nokia E71. I'm still holding on to the E71. This is the phone for me. I'm not letting go of it for anything or anyone. So the E71 is, in my opinion, for right now, the best phone that anyone could get. And you can look up my reasoning for this opinion in previous videos that I've made for the E71. But anyway, yes, I basically wanted to have an opportunity to test out different models to see which one would be a perfect backup to my Nokia E71. Now, once I returned the Treo Pro back to my friend and I got my 750 back, I figured, why not go out and see if there's any other device that could possibly replace the Treo 750 as a backup? A device that can offer the same amount of features, if not more, and something that could be just as reliable.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is... Please note, the new number is...
Now, it was at this point where another Windows Mobile QWERTY bar device came to mind, and this was the Samsung Epix from AT&T. Now, the only difference between this and the unlocked i780 that I used to have is that this one actually runs off of the AT&T 3G network. As you can see, it's very thick because it's got the built-in extended life battery. And the one thing that I like about it so far is this extremely detailed QWERTY keypad that's very nice. In comparison to the E71, I do have to say that I like typing on the Samsung Epix a lot more, and I'm thinking it's because the keys are much more spaced out. And when I'm typing on the Samsung Epix, there is also a good amount of tactile feedback. So as I'm writing really quickly on the keypad, there's always a reassuring click that happens when I'm pressing each button. Now, the one problem that I did run into in typing with the Samsung Epix keypad is that the positioning of the function and caps key is basically different from the E71. If you take a look here, the function key is directly on top of the shift key, whereas on the E71, the function key is located right next to the shift key, right there at the bottom. Wow, whenever I started to pick up speed in typing, I would always, mistake this key as the shift key in order to make capitals in my writing. So quite often I ended up opening up the Opera mobile browser by mistake. Now just to let you guys know, this is the AT&T logo in this button here, but it's automatically configured to open up Internet Explorer. But once I had downloaded Opera Mobile 9.5, I reconfigured the button to open up that web browser instead. It's a QWERTY bar Windows mobile device that has basically the same kind of sound quality as the Touch Pro or the HTC Titan 2. So I'm not going to get into that at all. That it is very light, being that it's made of plastic, but just by looking at it, you can't really tell that it's made of plastic until you actually pick it up and hold it in your hand. When I first opened up the box, I was shocked because at first I almost thought that it was made of metal, like my E71. So it's a very professional look altogether, and in comparison to the more curvy Treo Pro, it's got a more robust look to it with the sharper edges and the more sharpened corners. Now, aside from that, there are a couple of bad points about the Samsung Epix that I didn't like. First off, the built-in GPS. Last night I tried downloading Google Maps to the device, and I ended up doing so, but it downloaded to my phone as a Java application. And I wasn't sure why it did that. I had never seen that before on any of my Nokia devices or on any previous Windows mobile devices at all. It kept asking me if it was okay for the application to use the network, and of course, it's okay. It needs to use the network in order to perform properly, right? But it kept doing this. Like, it seemed like every minute on the minute, it would constantly ask that question, and I would have to always hit the soft key for OK. That got on my nerves. Now, the GPS option would normally be available on the Google Maps for my E71, but for some reason it did not show up on the Samsung Epix, and so that was a very big concern for me. Now, the second thing that turns me off about the Samsung Epix is the lack of the ability to tether to my Mac. Now, normally on older Windows mobile devices, there was an app called Internet Sharing, which allowed you to use either USB or Bluetooth to tether to your laptop and use your smartphone as a modem to go on the internet with your laptop. There is no internet sharing app on the Samsung Epix. I tried looking everywhere and I just simply could not find it. Basically, in order to tether at all with the Samsung Epix, you're going to have to do a lot of hacking, or maybe a little hacking, but either way, you're going to have to hack into the phone in order to enable Bluetooth tethering. And I basically don't have the patience to hack another phone when I can just go ahead and return it back to AT&T. I'm just not going to do it. I refuse to do it. After having such an easy time with my E71 in tethering to my Mac with no trouble, I'm not going through hacking another Windows Mobile in order to get it to do what I need it to do. I would love to hold on to this device, I really would, but being that I cannot use it for data tethering without some heavy hacking, or not being able to use GPS adequately with a reliable Google Maps application, I'm just going to have to cut my losses and go back to my Nokia E71 and keep holding on to my Treo 750. Now, if you would like to read up on my experience with the Treo Pro in detail, and as well as see pictures of the Treo Pro as I compared it with my Treo 750, you're more than welcome to click on the link in the information box, which will take you directly to my blog site. Until next time, if you have any questions in regards to which gadget or which smartphone best fits your needs, feel free to send me an email or send me a message through YouTube, and I will do my best to answer your questions. So on that note, you guys take care of yourselves and stay safe.